WagerTalk TV. Welcome back to the KBO Betting Show. My name's Andrew McInnis, joined once again by Dave Cokin. Dave, how are you doing?
Very good. Things are back to the way they're supposed to be after an incident with the air conditioning last night, which made for a very unpleasant evening because it's hot out here. But all fixed. Repairmen are they're my version of first responders. When the air conditioning breaks down, I got here at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, fixed it, and everything's beautiful again.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm impressed they came that early. I'm dealing with the same thing myself. Obviously, hot weather to me doesn't mean the exact same thing as it means to you.
No. I mean, I don't mind heat, but it was 90 in here last night, and that's not comfortable. Not good sleeping weather.
No. Well, Dave, we had a great response yesterday. We had nearly almost 1,000 views. We had 90 likes in the video, so I appreciate everyone hitting that like button. Without further ado, let's keep doing what we've been doing. Both of us had a split yesterday. You are on a 7-1 run. I'm on a 6-2 run. Let's keep things going. We got some new matchups today as well. So look forward to diving into these, heading towards the weekend here. I want to start off, Dave, with Hanwha taking on the SK Wyverns. And Dave, when I was playing sports, whether it was intramurals in college or in high school, we used to call this game the toilet bowl game. It was the best of the two shit teams. And, we're seeing pretty much a pick-em price here. Depends where you look. Who do you think is the worst team out of these? Not the best. The worst is what I'm gonna phrase it like here.
I think the Wyverns might eventually start to hit a little bit. The Eagles, they've got problems because they just can't produce any offense. They're both pretty bad. By the way, it's Kim night in KBO. There's 4 starters named Kim going tonight. So this is a Kim versus Kim. The Eagles' Kim is 0-1, 2.25, but his FIP is 4-1. The SK Wyverns, Kim is 0-2, but he's got a good ERA, but also much higher in the FIP, 4.79, I guess it is. Interestingly, both these pitchers have been really fortunate so far. One of them has a 175 batting average on balls in play, the other 167. 91% strand rate, I should say, for the Hanwha pitcher. I can't come up with anything here. I mean, you immediately consider the under when you get two very poor offensive teams, but you've also got two pitchers who have phony numbers. And this might be a spot where both offenses can get going a little bit. This was a game I very quickly eliminated from consideration. Good luck to both teams.
Definitely. First of all, you can't disagree with the under in that one, but I'm gonna go ahead here and take a shot here with SK at this price. SK 4-16, Hanwha is 7-14, but looking at this pitcher's duel and looking at this pitcher matchup, there's not really one particular thing that's going to completely stop me from fading a team like Hanwha that just couldn't throw a beach ball in the ocean right now. This team, they couldn't have a volleyball getting pitched at them, Dave, and try and hit it, So for that reason alone, I'm going to go ahead and hear it and keep trying to fade this Hanwha team. But it's a good spot, and you're getting good odds against them. And let's not forget, I think that SK, they've obviously had a rough go of it, but we look at when they've played NC, they were able to score 5 or 6 runs every now and then. When they played Kiwoom, they scored a couple runs. When they played Lotte, they scored a few runs. They're not getting, dominated by anybody. So I'm going to go ahead here and pull trigger on this matchup here and take SK on the money line as my first pick here on the podcast. Hello to Brian Watson in the chat box. Appreciate you joining in, Brian. KT Wiz taking on the Kiwoom Heroes. I'll tell you, Dave, I'm not really sure what to think of this matchup. I don't know what to think about KT because we look at their bullpen stats and it's horrific. And last night, actually, I faded them because I thought that they had the weaker pitcher on the mound. But for once, KT actually was able to hold on and not blow a game here. Kiwoom looking pretty good here. Their pitcher, 3-0, throwing up some pretty good stats. And we see KT Wiz, Kim Min, 6.32 ERA. Is it justifiable, the favorites that we're seeing for the Kiwoom and the number that they're laying right now?
No, I think it's justified. You got a big edge on the mound here with Jokic against Kim. Kim's numbers are accurate. The 2-0 is, he's getting some. The Wiz are going to hit, so their pitching staff is going to be the beneficiary of some very good offense. They could well be one of the two or three best offenses in the league. Well, they are. I mean, they scored 130 runs, so they actually have scored more than anybody else in the league. So they are a very good offensive team. The pitching is not so good, and Kim has been the beneficiary so far. He hasn't really pitched well, and he's got some negatives. The walk rate is very high, 11 walks in 15 and 2/3 innings. His analytics just aren't good at all. Jokic has pitched good ball for the Heroes. He certainly looks like he's the clearly better pitcher in this matchup, and that's why the odds on this side, despite the fact that you've got a Wiz team that has a lot of offense and playing rough ball. They're big underdogs in this game, but I have no argument to that whatsoever. The Heroes deserve to be good-sized favorites in this game.
Yeah, Kiwoom 10-11 on the year, KT 9-11. I think from both those teams, you can argue that they definitely could have won a few games. But what I like about Kiwoom is that I feel like, Dave, when they're losing games, they're kind of still sticking around with them. And I feel like KT, when they're losing games, it's by margin. So we'll see how that really looks out.
Well,
but yeah, I mean,
I might argue that, though, because the stats would say otherwise. The Wiz are, I believe, they're 9-11, but they're plus 19 runs. So they've been losing close. The close games are what's hurt them. They've lost when they've been in close games. They've lost them. Their wins have been by pretty big margins.
Yeah, their bullpens let them down quite a bit, though. They're a team that if you're betting first 5 innings, I would look to bet KT first 5 and not full games.
Yeah, some bullpen ERAs, by the way. The bullpen ERA in this league is just under 5, and that's Samsung. The Lions are actually under 5. The worst is on Bears. And I'll talk when we get to that last game on the schedule. I won't be playing in their game tonight, but I do have some thoughts on that team.
Yeah, so my closing thoughts on this game. I mean, Kim Min, his pitching, just like you said, a lot of stats that you just can't really justify back in a pitcher like that. And, like you said, I think it's justifiable, the number we're getting. And to continue with what we were saying, this could be a good -1 spot. I wouldn't be comfortable laying a -200 number here with Kiwoom, but I would look to a -1 spot here. LG Twins, Kia Tigers. Interesting one. Look, Dave, this is an LG Twins team that's got it together. I mean, yesterday on the show, you were talking about maybe it'd be worrisome. We were getting some decent odds with them. Would they kind of slack and not be able to get that sweep? And it's hard to back a team trying to go for a sweep. They got the job done in shutout fashion, but part of me has to wonder, is it a great job by them, or was it just a Lotte Giants that, another team right now that's struggling to produce, struggling to score? We mix things up now with this contest, new matchups, take on the Kia Tigers, a team that's been very up and down. They were in a close 1-run game yesterday. What are your thoughts here on this one? Well,
and the Twins beat up on the Eagles, not Samsung. Samsung's actually playing a pretty decent, much better ball now. Tough matchup for LG. I mean, they're playing good ball, obviously. They're 14-6.
Did I say Samsung? Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. Oh, okay.
Lotte, I guess you said, but Lotte was playing Samsung.
My fault.
The Twins they're 14-6, but this is a tough spot for them. I like the way Brooks is throwing the ball for the Tigers. His numbers are good to begin with, but they're even better when you factor in a few things. The one negative is he's got 30 hits allowed in 24 and 2/3 innings, but he's only got 3 walks and 23 strikeouts. You love ratios like that. And he's had some bad luck on balls in play. Batting average on balls in play is .397. That's a positive regression statistic. He's going to get better. A lot of balls that have found their way into open spaces will end up getting turned into outs. It's not like he's given up long balls or anything like that. So he's been fine as far as that goes, and his analytics are really good. So I think Brooks has a pretty good sized edge here over the Twins pitcher Cha, and this is not a bad.
I don't like Cha at all.
What's that? Well, no, he's his numbers just aren't very good. He gets enough strikeouts. And his walks to innings pitched are not bad, but he doesn't have dominant stuff by any means. And the Tigers should be able to hit him. Look, the odds makers did a good job here. They made it pricey enough so that you have to think twice before you go ahead and bet the Tigers. But I do think the Tigers are the right side in this ball game, and it's not unreasonable. This is a game where you might want to take a shot on the -1. You're looking at in the range of about 145, 150 on the money line, last I checked. And I'll punch up my screen real quick here and get some current numbers. Let's see where we are in that game. Yeah, -145, -150. But this is a game where you can get a pretty good return on the money line at +1 on the runs line at +140. So this is the type of game where I do like to play -1, where I'm lowering my liability on the money line and getting a good return on the runs line by splitting the play. So that's what I would do in this game. I would go with the Kia side and back Brooks and the Tigers to win the opener in the series.
Right there with you as well. I think they're playing some pretty good ball, despite the close losses as well. And we're talking about the stats here for Wu Chen, and he's 2-2, 1.52 WHIP, 6.0 ERA, but now 25. I think he relies heavily on his strikeouts, right? If he's missing on the strikeouts, then people are going to catch him. And not too many home runs, a few given up, but I think he'll get outmanned here. And
he's given up 4.
I think this is priced accordingly, Dave. So, but to your point, you're getting some decent plus money on that run line.
Yeah, and Shaw has given up 4 homers already, which is, doesn't sound like a lot, but he's only pitched 25, 26 innings. So, that's a fairly high home run rate, whereas Brooks keeps the ball in the park. I think the advantages are definitely with the favorite in this game.
Dave, when you're looking at these games here, I always check out a couple of different websites, but when you're looking at it, I see right here in front of me he's allowed 6 batters to get to second place, 1 to third base. How much do you take that into account, like doubles and triples that they're allowing? I mean, just specifically the base, looking at on base percentage and things like that. But
you factor them all in.
Yeah,
you want to know if hard contact is an issue for a guy, and some of the stats aren't as easy to come by as if it was major leagues, but you can get a pretty good grasp on these by going through Fangraphs or whoever.
Yeah. I just find it interesting for me looking at some of these numbers. And it's like, this guy has, 21 strikeouts on the year. Not too bad, but we're looking at this guy being heavily reliant on it, I think. And if he gets caught early, he might be in some trouble if the Tigers can make some contact here. We'll go to the next game here, Dave. Next game on the board, Lotte Giants take on the Doosan Bears.
Actually, we missed the Dinos Lions game.
I'm going to have that one right after.
Oh, okay. I'm going by the schedule rotation.
All right. Sorry, I'm just going on a website. I'll go by rotations moving forward. Is it okay with you, the Giants game?
Oh, yeah. I just thought we were going in the rotation order. No big deal.
Yeah. Giants and Bears. Bears go down 6-1 yesterday. I had a first 5 under ticket on that game and got the job done. And, every team was a flat spot, but I think I have to take my hat off to SK for that. They touched up the Bears a little bit. And look, this is a spot here. We're seeing a Lotte team struggling and a Bears team coming off a loss like that. A 3-1 pitcher with a 4.12 ERA taking on a 1-0 pitcher with a 6.0 ERA. The price here bugs me. This is a pass for me, Dave, so I'm not really going to comment too much on it. But it's hard for me to look at it. I might even look at an under in this one here and continue to see hopefully some regression from this Bears team and try and see if this Giants team can prove to me they can get on the board here.
If the Giants were doing anything with their offense, I'd be on them in this spot. I'll talk about the Bears for a second. I think this is the team that you might want to circle as the value team to fade. They can't pitch. They just can't pitch. And it's really tough for a team to maintain tremendous offense on an everyday basis. And that's about what it comes down to this team. If they don't score, they don't win. They're 12-8, but they've given up more runs than they've allowed. They've given up more runs than they've scored. The bullpen ERA is over 8. Over 8. I mean, even on a small sample, we're talking 20 and 21 games. That's still an extraordinarily awful bullpen earned on average. Alcantara's on the mound tonight. He's been fair at best. I won't say he's been mediocre. He's been better than that. But he's 3-1, but he's 3-1 because of his offense. He hasn't pitched all that well, and I think he's a guy who throws a lot of straight pitches. I saw that when he was in the majors, and I think I've seen him once in KBO, and it's still the same thing. I mean, he's got good velocity, but a lot of his pitches just don't move. I don't care what league you're in. You throw straight fastballs, you're going to get hit. I think the Giants actually might have the better guy on the mound here in he actually hasn't pitched badly. He's not a big strikeout guy, but he's got pretty good control. And let's say the pitching matchup is fairly even. I don't think you can justify the Bears being this much of a favorite here. I'm going to be looking for spots to play against them. I think they're a team that's going to have trouble staying above 500. I think that, this is Pythagorean stuff at work here. But you look at the 12-8, and then you look at the minus 7 runs on the season. This is a team that I think you can make some money betting against in spots. I didn't go with it tonight because the Giants are just not hitting the ball at all. And, you've got to be able to take advantage of bad pitching. And I don't know if the Giants can do that, so I left it alone. But if I were to play this game, I'd be on the dog.
Well, Dave, I've been mentioning a lot of team total stuff. How would you feel about in the future? You talk about the pitching from the Bears, looking at team totals for opposition against the Bears. Yeah,
I'm not a team totals guy. Again, I kind of stay in my lane as far as handicapping goes, so I just don't go in that direction. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying it's if you can beat it, fantastic. But I'm better at playing sides and totals in baseball, and I just kind of leave it at that.
Okay. Personally, for me, I would say, for most teams like yourself, you're saying with a good case to try and fade this team, I would look to take a team total against the Bears, just not with this Giants team, not prepared to do it. I'm going to bring this up here. We have somebody here asking, I'll pop that up onto the screen, asking about the Dinos -1.5, asking if that is a good bet. Dave, that brings a smile on my face.
It's not a bad bet. Okay?
I mean,
but I just couldn't.
They're 17-3. They're 17-3.
Yeah, and they're killing teams. I mean, look at this. I mean, they've outscored their opponents by 58 runs in 20 games. That is amazing. So I'm not going to try and argue against the Dinos. But, man, I mean, I just can't lay 145, 150. I think let me punch it up and see what the current number is. Where is it? I'm looking at the wrong game. -140, and that's at Superbook, and they actually have better prices than just about anybody. So it's even higher than that. I don't know. On a runs line, I just can't do it, but it's the only way I'd play. You got Rosinski on the mound tonight. He is clearly one of the better pitchers in this league. He's going against another Kim, on the mound tonight, who's 0-1, 4.09, but he's worse than that. His FIP is 6.75. Obviously, it's a small sample, only 16 innings, but he walks a lot of guys. 7 walks, 7 strikeouts. Those are ratios you don't want to see. And the Dinos are just doing everything right. So, I mean, it's not on my card, but I'm probably going to wonder why after the result comes in, because it's a game the Dinos figure to win by a margin. They're just kicking the snot out of teams. Now, the one thing to remember, though, and this is everything runs in streaks. Yeah. And right now, the Lions starting pitching is on an incredible tear. I think they're at it's like 27 scoreless innings from their starting pitchers right now. I might be off a little bit on that, but their starting pitching right now has been sensational. So you might want to take a look at this one and say, hey, this might not be a bad underspot with Rosinski pitching against a starting pitching staff right now that's on fire. So if I had to play an option in this game, I think I'd probably play under, but it's ultimately I passed the game.
Yeah, for me, I'm going ahead here. I'm going to take the over. I mean, Samsung, I grabbed them yesterday as a free play. You can now find my plays over at WagerTalk.com. I posted as a free play. I got them at +140. Get the job done yesterday, and I mean, or today, I guess, this morning. It's hard to remember, Dave, saying yesterday versus today. But just one of those things. I mean, they had I believe it was a mismatch between in the past 4 games for both those teams. It was like 30 to 8 in runs. And now we're seeing, 33 runs here for this team. I just think in general, they can score. I think that in general, they're going to be able to put some runs up. And, you can call that just, looking at last few games or whatever you want to say. But
it's all 20 games. I mean, they are right now, we're 1/7 of the way through the season, so things can change. But there is no question through the first 20 games that the Dinos have been the dominant team in this league in every way.
Yeah, and the thing is, Samsung's getting scored on. I got a team that is literally putting up massive numbers every game, and then I got another team that's getting scored on in massive numbers against good teams. So, unless all of a sudden they go ahead and put up a great pitching effort for a full 9 innings, I'm comfortable taking this over 10 or anywhere around that number. So that wraps it up here for the show. That's the card. It is Thursday. We're talking about picks for Friday morning. Dave, I believe you have a best bet up at WagerTalk.com. That's correct?
I did. I posted one best bet for tonight. And also for anybody who's got the package where they get all the plays, there are 2 other plays from the same game that I played. So we'll try and keep this run going. It's been a lot of fun. And, not going to win every night, but my confidence level is pretty high right now because the results have been very good this week.
I mean, if at worst, we're splitting. That's pretty good. But I watched back the show yesterday, Dave, and showed a few of my friends. And the first comment they said, I started off the show talking about our winners and my 5%. And you said, hey, we're not going to get too high on the winners. We're not going to get too down on the losers. And
once the day's done, you just move on. I've always felt it's kind of a sign of an amateur or a rube when they just going to, focus on I had a great day yesterday. Oh, okay. So what?
Oh, well, I'll make it very clear. If I have an 0-3 day, I'm going to come on this show and I'm going to say it. I'm not going to just come on the show and talk about my wins. I'll talk about my losses as well. So
I think if you go back to the first show we did this week, I didn't have a good weekend last weekend. You got to mention those too. Because anybody who thinks you win at this stuff all the time, well, good luck to that. It's not going to happen.
Long-term game, absolutely. A little bit of a request here on this video. I want anybody watching this video that's been watching these games or betting it, who's your favorite team in the league so far? Comment below on this YouTube video. Let me know who your favorite team is so far. Or as far as a betting perspective, which team has made you the most money so far in this league? I'm guessing it's probably going to be 1 or 2 teams, Dave, but I'm going to ask the crowd here to comment below. And we got 90 likes yesterday. Maybe we can try to get to 100. I appreciate everyone doing that for us.
I want to quickly mention, by the way, because we were discussing this morning at WagerTalk, do we continue KBO when the other sports return? And I want to make it clear that for my subscribers, I don't know whether the show will continue once the other sports come back, just because, supply and demand. But if you buy a package for KBO, I am going to continue the full season. So I'm locked into KBO. I don't know if I'll do it again next year. Hopefully not, to be honest with you. But I will be doing KBO for the entire season this year.
Well, Dave, if you don't get too sick of chatting with me for about 20 minutes every day, we'll continue to do this.
As of now, we're going to keep doing it. But once hockey and basketball and maybe baseball starts, I don't know what the demand is going to be for it. And I will be, at that time, if Major League Baseball comes back, we'll certainly be doing first pitch with Prez and myself every day on the big league stuff. It's obviously a bigger audience. Yeah,
I was actually speaking about this. I mean, this could be just a show that yourself and we just do together. So we could actually be mentioning, NHL picks on this, KBO picks, things of that.
I don't know what my hours are going to be. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. Let's put it this way.
Have your people call my people, Dave?
Well, I've been staying up to watch KBO or sleeping early and then getting up to watch KBO. Once the other sports return, I'm not going to be watching KBO at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. That part I can guarantee. Yeah. So it might impact my ability to do a show, but that's down the road. We don't have to worry about that right now.
Okay. I appreciate everybody joining here. We got Sean, Abel, Matt Peterson, Daniel, Neil. We appreciate everyone checking out the video. Remember, everybody watching on the YouTube channel, to comment below. Which team are you enjoying watching the most? Which teams are making you the most money? We will see you tomorrow, once again, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Dave has plays up. I have plays up. Both found at WagerTalk.com. And this is the KBO Betting Show. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.